Welcome. You are now watching BossLady News, highlighting businesses, nonprofits, events, talent. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Britt Johnson.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to BossLady News. We've got a great show for you as usual. I also want to make sure that I give a shout out to my home network, which is BNN Comcast Channel 23. However, you guys know that you can catch any of my previous episodes on BossLadyNews.com. And I want you all to find out more about the New England International Producers Group. You can find us on Facebook under NEAT. Please make sure you go ahead and like that page. We could use your support. We are going to get a chance to talk with T. Michaels from the People's Academy. He's got some amazing new things going on. You guys, the support is overwhelming for the People's Academy, and I just want to be one of the people who definitely encourages all the positive education and information that's coming out of the People's Academy. We're also going to get a chance to speak with one of the amazing designers from the Voji fashion family. Her name is Sharon Cox Cole, and she's going to be presenting a few pieces that are going to be on the runway as well from Shaco Couture. With no further ado, like we always do, we're going to get a chance to speak with Cuban Mike in reference to some news. However, he's not in the studio, so we kind of have to go and meet him where he is. And let's go ahead and talk to him. He's got 3 different topics for us, and let's see what he's got to say.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Cuban Mike. Unfortunately, I'm not in the building with the boss lady, but I'm still out here working. What's going on, y'all? I know it's been a while. I miss y'all, so hopefully y'all miss me. Where can I begin? We can start off with my man Usher. A couple of weeks ago, court documents showed up that Usher allegedly gave somebody an STD, herpes. The lady who was in the court document was a lady that was best friends with his ex-wife at the time. She was, a matter of fact, part of the bridesmaid. And I guess they had some sort of affair, and the documents came out that he gave this lady alleged herpes, and she sued him for $1 million, and it was a settlement out of court. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, you have 2 more allegations of 2 women and a man claiming that he gave him the infection. Right now his camp has denied it. Furthermore, this week alone, we had another lady by the name of Quantasia Sharpton alleged that they had some sort of sexual escapade after one of his show performance. I believe if you go on YouTube, there's a video of him performing, and he does one of those things when he performs one of those seduction songs. He brings one of the girls on stage, and that happened to be the lady Quantasia Sharpton. Very interesting because they came back for the results, and it showed that the girl had no herpes, no STD, no nothing whatsoever. So now his camp is denying it. So it's just been an interesting couple of weeks with the man Usher. Kevin Hart, he supposedly got caught allegedly cheating on his wife with 2 girls. He denied it. He denied the causes. He's still trying to figure out the situation. He was in Miami with 2 ladies. He was in his car, and a couple of minutes later, Hey, what's going on?
Before we get a chance, oh guys, sorry, that's my intern Terrence. He's actually working the social media, so if you guys see him bounce in front of the camera, that's him. Terrence, don't do that. He's actually recording live on Facebook also. So Cuban Mike, that's crazy that, you know, the whole story with Usher, I feel like these celebrities, they tend to do a lot of things that non-celebrities do, only it ends up in the media because of their status. Unfortunately, I mean, what are we going to do? There's a lot of people walking around still not having protected sex and still catching STDs. So what are we supposed to do? Encourage people to make sure that they're having safe sex, right? That's right. Make sure you're wrapping it up. Make sure you know who you're sleeping with. And more importantly, why don't you take the time to get to know somebody before you sleep with them? Because you might find out beforehand, and then it's your choice if you want to have unprotected sex with that person or not. Kevin Hart, listen, I love me some Kevin Hart, okay? And Kevin Hart has been doing so much in the community. He's also been one of the amazing comedians to kind of usher forward this younger generation of comedians. And hopefully we'll have some millennials who are comedians also, because Kevin Hart, his height, his energy, I mean, it's larger than life. What people do as celebrities, you guys, we have to keep in mind. Everything they do, regular people do also. However, what Cuban Mike was letting you guys also know about is the fact that Kevin Hart has a new app out there, and it's called Laugh Out Loud. And it's great because it's good for people who have depression of any type. You're able to select different types of comedy that will put you into a better mood. And in all honesty, in this day and age and with the presidency we're currently dealing with, everything is a bunch of laughs. So you guys find out more about Laugh Out Loud. And Cuban Mike has a little bit more for us. Let's see what else he had to say.
Kevin Hart is also in the news for good reasons and bad reasons. I'll start off with the bad. A couple of weeks ago, it was seen by TMZ that he was leaving out of his car with two ladies leaving out of his car. He's married, of course. He was out and about, and they saw him at 5 o'clock in the morning leaving his car with two girls. He's adamantly denying that he had no sexual encounter with those girls, but let's see what happens. The good news is that he's launching, should I say, a new app called Laugh Out Loud. And that is pretty much, how can I explain this? That's like the Spotify entitled version of comedy. So if you want to get a good laugh, they have improv skits, comedy shows. One of the things that I like, they got all the seasons of this Comedy Jam. So if you grew up on Def Comedy Jam, then that'll be the app for you to enjoy. So congrats to Kevin Hart. Also, if you guys didn't know, he's the most highest paid comedian active at the moment. So congrats and salute to that man.
Okay, I was a little ahead of myself with the Laugh Out Loud, Cuban Mike. You got it right on point. I also wanted to kind of talk a little bit briefly about what's going on today as far as with the producers of the world, with the people of color who, of all colors, all creeds and all nationalities, that are now starting to get into film and starting to get into editing, any of the things behind the scenes. You've got young people doing internships, social media positions, and I feel like we're really not taking advantage of the resources that we have in our current communities. Now, if you guys ever wanted to find out more about being a rapper, being a singer, being a model, make sure you get out there and actually find out more about the community services that are available to you. You've got Polish producers, you've got producers that focus on art, you've got producers that focus on what's going on in the community, you've got producers that focus on fashion, such as Style It Up. Shout out to you out there, Blackford. I want to make sure that you guys support all of your local resources and support those people in your community that are bringing these things to you, such as myself, Boss Lady News. You guys know that you can email me anytime, bossladynews@gmail.com. Don't go away, because we have one more clip from Cuban Mike. He's got a little bit more to talk about for us.
Bobby V, if anybody remembers Bobby V, he had the hit song Slow Down back in the days. He also got hit with a scandal. He was shown on video leaving the hotel with a transgender. I guess it was a prostitution room thing going on there. The transgender recorded the whole session and recorded him leaving, and I guess he left his wallet, his key, and all that other stuff. So now his cam's trying to say that he didn't know. The transgender saying that he didn't know. So there's a big back and forth thing going on for Bobby V. So let's see what happened in that scenario.
Well, you've got prostitution in a variety of different places, and the newest place of focus has been the transgender world. I will admit I am personally a little ignorant to the whole transgender topic myself. I actually had a seat with my up-and-coming producer, my oldest boss minion, Jayla, and asked her a few questions about the transgender world. I think we need to recognize that maybe our young people know a little bit more about that community than we do. However, if you owe somebody some money, Bobby V, you gotta pay them. So don't find yourself in bed with people that you gotta pay them cash and they might run out and chase after you. All right, guys, there's a whole bunch of amazing news going on out there, especially on this network, on this channel. And if you guys want to find out more about any of the producers or any of the films that are being produced here in the New England area, feel free once again to go over to the New England International Producers and you'll find out more about what's going on throughout the community. We're going to cut to a brief PSA, and when we come back, we're going to be speaking with individuals representing the People's Academy and the creator, founder of the People's Academy, T. Michaels Thomas. We'll be right back.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchool.com.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you read stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
It's good for what?
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Hey everyone, thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. Now we're going to get a chance to talk with the founder, president, and really coordinator of the entire thing, T. Michaels from the People's Academy.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, I'm a hugger. You know that by now.
Yes.
Have a seat. So thank you, first and foremost, for finally coming on to Boss Lady News.
After a few years, thank you for having me.
I know. My last kind of like follow-up with you was in reference to kind of going downtown and really supporting the People's Academy down at City Hall with a new movement, which is to get a new building.
Correct.
Before we get into that, though, for those people that don't know much about the People's Academy and T. Michael, are you originally from the Boston area?
I was actually born in Trinidad, but I was raised in Boston.
Okay. Yes. Born there and raised here, like you're a transplant? You came when you were a teen?
Yes,
or
I was young.
You were younger?
Correct.
Okay. Well, how has your experience been here compared to in Trinidad?
The memory, there's not much memory of Trinidad because at the time I was really young.
You've been here for that
so
long?
Basically would be considered a Bostonian.
Really?
Because this is what I know.
Oh.
This is what I know, yeah.
I love people who consider themselves Bostonians because, you know, typically Bostonians think that they're South Boston natives as opposed to Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan natives. However, we are Bostonians also.
Correct.
So what initially kind of got you into, even before the People's Academy, what got you into wanting to use your hands and build and construct?
Well, my family are welders. So in the welding industry, you basically use your hands a lot. Building ships, fire escapes, burglar proofing, railings, with different designs, things like that. So it's in my blood, in my genes.
I've heard that women are really good welders because we have small hands.
Yes, and the risk on doing vertical welding.
Wow.
Yes.
What exactly is welding when it comes to structures or when it comes to building?
It's a form of, you're taking two pieces of metal and then you take a stick rod and fusing the two pieces together with a rod with high electricity and different things like that, current. But my more so thing is copper.
Okay.
But, you know, I have some knowledge on welding, but more so sheet metal copper work.
And transforming, because I've been to the People's Academy and I've seen pieces that you've put together, including the jewelry that
Yes.
you actually make with the copper.
Correct.
But just really forming metal into anything.
Right.
That itself is a completely different skill.
Yes, it is. It's you have blacksmiths and then you have coppersmiths. So that's what I am, a coppersmith, that you would take a piece of metal and basically bang it and shape it and manipulate it and create different things. From what you see in the State House, like gutters, downspout, balusters, which I did, worked in the State House, Massachusetts. Just a variety of historic buildings. And then I also took it in another level by making jewelry, copper jewelry, earrings, bracelets, also home goods like furniture, wine racks, all out of copper. So just lighthouses, just different things.
Now, when it comes to metal and fusing it and attaching it to a home, first of all, what is the importance of having this copper actually a part of a person's home?
It's longevity. When you look at the colleges, hospitals, state buildings, city-owned buildings, train stations, hospitals, temples, churches, you'll see the patina copper, the Statue of Liberty. Copper is good for 200, 300, 400 years.
Wow.
So as the government or the White House or State House, you would want something that would last generations to come. So, yeah.
So that's the importance
That's
of
the
it.
importance, and it's good for the weather, and you know, it's expensive, but you have to look at long term.
Right.
On would you want to put a material there with especially New England weather, or that would last, you know, a few years, or something that would last hundreds of years. It's,
right.
You know, you get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And in these day and age, some of these new homes that are being built, I feel like they're going to blow away with the wind.
Course. Yeah.
So for, you know, somebody, even myself, that is looking into purchasing a home, why would we want to make sure that we're actually looking into what you do with the copper and welding it and getting it as the framing of the home, like attached to the framing of the home?
It's more the aesthetics, the outside, like your gutters, downspouts, chimney caps, edge metal, different things like that. But the reason is, especially using copper, you want something that, let's say if you purchase a home and you get to that age, you want to go to retire, you pass it on to your kids. You don't want them to keep spending money with contractors going in and out, in and out. So you invest and you spend your money wisely into something that would last hundreds of years.
Right.
Opposed to like 3 to 5 years that you got to keep spending out of pocket. And then when your kids get to that age, they have to keep spending out of pocket.
Right.
So when you look at homes in the suburbs, people that make a good income, they all have copper in their homes. But we now look at we're more reactive instead of proactive people, so we would be easily swayed and fooled and get the cheap materials.
Right.
Which it's not practical.
Because we don't really think of the longevity.
Correct.
I actually like how you just brought up the young people and being able to leave a legacy for them. And what you're doing with the People's Academy is educating some young people. You're leaving your own legacy behind with that.
Correct.
So before we go to a break, what got you interested in wanting to deal with some of these knuckleheads outside and teach them copper work?
Ooh, that's a good question, but I agree with you, but I have to disagree with one thing. there are good people. They're not all kids, because some of the people that I do train are older than I am.
Okay.
So, but I believe in everyone deserving a chance. And no person really want to be poor. And when you see an individual, not in every situation, but in some of the cases, they turn to the streets for a form of making an income. So why not provide them with a gainful trade that they could survive a lifetime so we have a better society?
Absolutely.
Because the person you might walk by today and not give them a chance might be the same person that might rob or steal or take from your loved one. But have they had a job or an opportunity, better society.
Absolutely. And you're giving these people, giving the people who are joining the People's Academy as students, you're giving them an opportunity like no other. Because nobody else out there is actually doing that.
I'm paying them.
Right.
I'm paying them for me to teach them. Think about that.
So it's a paid training.
Correct.
We're going to cut to a brief PSA, but when we come back, we're going to get more visual on what they're doing there. You guys, don't go anywhere. We're cutting to a PSA. You're watching Boss Lady News. We'll be right back.
Growing up in the city where resources are limited and there's less people willing to help, you got to provide for yourself. You got to do what you can to survive. And where you're from, you might have options, but the options are limited. You could either do something you don't want to do or don't do nothing at all. There's too many problems and not enough answers. Unfortunately, we do have an answer. We have a situation where we're passing on tradition. We're teaching people about a trade that can last for generations. Something that can build a future for us, for our future generations to come. Now you have to ask yourself, are you part of the problem or part of the solution? We all have options. Make your choice, your next choice, your best choice. The People's Academy.
My name is Harvey L. Tovey.
Hi, I'm Joseph Kennard.
I'm John Castley.
I'm Anise Sabi George, Boston City Councilor at Large. And
Miss Dorothea Jones.
My name's Elise Sutherland.
Dave Johnson.
My name is John White.
Hi, I'm Martha Jackman.
My name is Larry Ellison.
My name is Abria Smith.
It's Octavia Solly Rowe.
My name is Ed Norton.
Frank Baker, District 3 City Councilor.
This is Brother Lope.
My name is Bill Moran.
David Richardson.
Name is Carl Beatty.
My name is Tito Jackson. I'm the District 7 Boston City Councilor.
My name is Leslie Harris.
My name is Chris Womack.
My name is Brother Gary.
How you doing? My name is Dana Supreme Richardson.
Raquel Dupino.
I'm T. Michael Thomas, and I approve this message.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. We're on set with T. Michaels from the People's Academy. And the video you all saw earlier was actually giving better explanation and visual for what's going on at the People's Academy. And we also have the gentleman who is here that helped to create that video, and his name is...
Bentley, extremely talented. I thought I was talented. By my initials, as a kid, I was called TMT by my initials, too much talent and some other things. But this guy right here, capturing my life, who I am, what I've created, the different things, bringing it to life on film, it's amazing.
Right.
So he can take it from, I'm not gonna even explain who he is, what he can do it better, who he is for himself. He's extremely talented.
Wow.
Extremely talented.
All right, Bentley, the Visionaries.
Yes, sir. Hi, nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Have a seat.
I am here. The guy, the magic, the man.
Yes.
That's right.
The visual
The brand, yeah.
behind all of this. First, I wanted to make sure that, I gave a shout out once again to the young producers out there in the New England area that are really doing it for our businesses, for our nonprofits, because we're in a world where visuals is what they need to see. So you're helping to bring our brands up to, another level, and we appreciate
Very
that.
true. Thank you. I'm just like 1% of the masses, just doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
yes.
doing my job.
So as we're in here and we get a chance to talk with you, and we've got an amazing audience in the background, so I want to make sure that we hear you nice and clearly.
Okay.
And how did you all find each other so that we could bring these two pieces together, the People's Academy and what's going on with the People's Academy?
Well, we met through one of my board members / advisors, Judge Harris, who has known him for all of his life. So Judge Harris being part of the People's Academy, and we were at the point where we had to document who the People's Academy is and the impact that needed to show and the need for it in the community. So Judge Harris said, I have a guy, and he showed up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta say, when I was there the other day, he's like, okay, I need everybody quiet. And I thought I was cool. And so I walked over to the back and I still tried to do my little chit chat. Thought I was silent. And he was like, no, we need you to be quiet because we can hear you guys on our video. So I'm like, oh.
Very professional.
Let me go upstairs.
Very professional.
I love how, you've been able to really pull your visions together. And my understanding is you're helping to create a documentary of T. Michael's life, as well as its journey through the People's Academy. So how has this kind of changed you?
As far as what we're doing today or film in general?
Both.
Well, film in general has changed me because growing up, I was, very attached to film, movies, shows, things that had to do with visuals. I was a very hands-on person, My brother's an artist, he likes to draw, things like that. So I'm very visual inclined, orientated. So just figuring out how people just, made visuals. What did they do? What was it that, made a person want to say, hey, I want to capture this emotion and let people, in on it. And it's changed my life for the better because film has changed other people's lives that I helped, like T. Michael.
Right.
And being very young, 9 years old, I got my first VHR, recorder for my birthday. And my mom was like, I don't know why you want it, but here it is. And I got it and I was so excited. So me and my friends, we filmed like TV shows and little movies and, little skits of just doing the most. Mm-hmm. And I remember one day I was like, so how do they put all of this stuff together? Because we just have clips of everything. And that's when I started to become more adamant about editing. Mm-hmm. And I learned that, they use programs, there's lighting, there's effects, there's things like that. And I just took my word by stone.
Right.
And from that day on, I've been very film inclined.
Right. Yeah. It was like mind blowing, right?
It was mind blowing. It was.
So collecting all of this footage for T. Michael's and the People's Academy and seeing the other young men that are there and young women
certainly
that are there to learn this information, that's a whole nother skill besides your skill. So, you know, for me, I picked up quite a bit of respect for what they were learning because I could never do that. And, you know, how did you feel being there hands-on with these people?
That's a good question. That's a great question because, you know, meeting the students, you know, you look at them as students because, you know, they're being taught a trade. And then you get to know them a little a little better. And then you realize they're just people, you know, they have families, you know, they have ideas, they have dreams and ambitions. So learning about them really helped me respect the fact that they wanted to know the trade a little more, because it's like, here you have this person who has a totally different life outside of this, you know, school that we're facilitating, but is here to learn something, you know, outside of themselves that's bigger, and, you know, can sustain them for a lifetime and their families and help, you know, build the environment and also keep the community safe. So just learning that about them just helped me, you know, respect the fact that they're hands-on and they want to learn a different trade. And, you know, like you said, I look at them every day and I'm like, you know, I could never do that. You know, I almost cut my hand off the other day picking up a drill. And like the students is like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, hey, it looked fun. It looked okay. So it's really allowed me to respect the craft a lot more.
Right. Now, through the process of putting together the documentary, you're getting, you know, some background on T. Michaels and his journey.
Not too much.
But you're also going to be getting some background on some of the students.
Definitely.
What brought you to wanting to pull that together also?
So being a filmmaker and knowing how films work and watching films and watching how people document people's lives and just looking how they expand things outside of the actual, you know, the focus of the film, that brings it into a whole nother element. Now we're talking about going to these, you know, these students' backgrounds and, you know, where they grew up at and things that really it affected their lives in order for them to be on this path. You know, who are their friends, you know, what kind of group did they grow up around? Just a little insight so the viewers can understand why this, you know, program is so, you know, it's so beneficial. Like why we need such a program like, you know, the People's Academy, because we have people out there who don't have an idea of how they can sustain life beyond working a 9-to-5 and streets and, you know, drugs and things like that. So it's like a whole nother element, you know, it's like a whole nother element, just bringing them in. And it's very appreciated by me just to know that their background stories are heard amongst our group.
Right.
So it's good that the viewers can know the people that's a part of what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the supporters, you guys, please make sure you go over to thepeoplesacademy.org so that you can show your support financially as well. There's a lot of amazing, larger nonprofits out there that are getting the financial support to sustain their programs, but we need that support financially as well for the programs that are helping to sustain people within the community through this education. We've only got a couple minutes. I'm going to steal a couple minutes because I would like to ask each one of you one question, right?
Ready.
And I just want one simple response.
Okay, you got it.
Being an entrepreneur, how has it changed your life?
For the better. And it provided me with vision to help others.
Nice.
It's allowed me to become a visionary, and I encourage everybody out there who's watching this to become a visionary because it allows you to paint your own future. Be the leader of your life. Lead your life.
All right, we're going to cut to a brief break, and I'm all about being an entrepreneur, and more importantly now, I'm all about property investment as well. So please make sure that you guys are finding out more. You can go to BossLady News to find out more about myself and what we're up to. Don't go anywhere because we've got some fashion coming on for you. We're going to have Sharon Cole come out and she's going to show us a few pieces. But before we do see some pieces from Shaco Couture, we're going to go ahead and find out more about Sharon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. You guys know you can catch me every Friday at 6 p.m. Tonight I've got an awesome live show for you, Comcast Channel 23. And now we're going to get a chance to speak with Sharon Cox-Cole from Shaco Couture. I was so excited it wouldn't come out right. Why don't you come on out here?
Thank you for having me.
I'm a hugger. Have a seat.
Thanks.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm so excited to get a
okay.
chance to meet you.
Okay.
I came to the set and I saw this beautiful piece on the rolling rack and I'm like, oh, is that for me?
Okay.
You are one of the designers
Yes.
for Vogue Fashion Runway Show,
Yes.
the Boston Fashion Week.
Yes, I am.
I will be hosting backstage.
Oh.
So I will be getting all of the craziness that's going on. But I'm
Okay.
so excited to get a chance to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
And I've been wanting to know who some of these designers are.
Okay.
And now we get a chance to meet Sharon from
Yes.
Shaco Couture.
Yes.
Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, very well.
Thank you. So first and foremost, for our viewers, are you originally from the Boston area?
No, originally I'm from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. That's in the Caribbean. I adopted America as my home 25 years ago.
Okay.
But I'm originally an island girl.
I love it. You
Yes.
guys, that was not on purpose. I did not know that either one of them were from Trinidad, okay?
Oh my God.
I did not know that.
Whoa, wow, okay. Well, the first guest was wow.
Oh, yes, he was from Trinidad
Small
as well.
world, yeah.
So,
Well,
welcome.
yeah.
Welcome, and thank you.
You're welcome.
I see that you've got the beautiful African headdress and you've got it decked out with your, European faux pas,
Yes.
custom suit piece.
Yes.
How have you transitioned from Caribbean style to a European style? Or was that always kind of what you liked?
That's a good question. Very, very good question. My work is described as multi-centric in that I tap into the European, I tap into the African, I tap into the Caribbean, I tap into, ethnic, cultures to bring my work forward. So my work does not subscribe to any particular group. It's just playing with lines and bringing the whole concept together. So I think I do have to attribute a little bit of it to where I was brought up, which is the island of Trinidad. We were very multicultural.
Okay.
So I was always, surrounded with different cultures. So that indeed did help.
I must admit, being from the U.S. always and forever that I know of,
Okay.
there's a respect that I have for people who are foreign and
Yes.
come because there isn't this black or white.
I know.
Because it's so diverse and the
Yes.
feeling on the islands is so different
Yes, it
from
is.
what it is here.
Yes.
Did you always see yourself wanting to be a designer when you were younger?
I think it started at age 10.
Okay.
Yes, that was my first thinking of a design because my teacher, we were supposed to perform for some sort of singing thing at my primary school. And I remember at age 10 thinking of this dress that I wanted to do in white velvet, dropped waist,
Wow.
red sash. Now, mind you, I did not even know if white velvet existed. But in my mind, I wanted this white velvet dress with this red sash on the hip. And interestingly enough, I think I can still do that dress today. I remember that being my first thinking of a design. Also, I had a lot of little Barbie dolls, and I would make all these little designs for them. But it actually started to really burn within me, I would say perhaps at age 14.
Wow.
You know, when I would design these pieces for my sister, for myself, you know, and so by age 16, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So
Now, I want to ask, okay? So, you know, when I was younger, I called myself a designer. as many adults out there who design that aren't really that good do also. So what helps you really perfect your craft from being 10 and having this velvet design in your head to now, you know, and the education that you had to learn? Were you self-taught? Did you go to school for that? What helped you make that real, that true desire to say, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it well?
You know, as a kid, you really need to be mindful of influences. Remember at age 5 being around my aunt and uncle, that my uncle-in-law was an excellent tailor and my aunt was a seamstress. Then again, in my later life, another uncle that was an artist and another aunt that excellent, you know, seamstress making bridal dresses and stuff like that. This was my preteens. I think some of that, I know that that had an influence on me.
Okay.
To answer your question, what was the question again?
It was what made you really decide, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to be a designer, and I'm going to be good at it?
Okay. I think it was my love for art because I pursued art in high school.
Okay.
When everyone else wanted to do literature, I chose art over literature. So I loved art. I see myself mostly as an artist first before being a designer.
Right.
And then I took my artistry to another level to design women's clothing, or not just women's clothing, but clothing on a whole. So it's more or less the artist in me that is coming through the art form of clothing.
Right.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't feel like a lot of designers always consider their clothing as artwork, especially when it's not extreme couture.
Yes.
You know, I've seen your pieces, and there's something that you can wear.
Yes.
And I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
That you know your artwork really does show through your pieces.
Yes.
We're going to get a chance to look at a couple of these pieces, but I kind of want to know, where did your inspiration from your collection come from for this Boston Fashion Week?
I get asked that question all the time. Where do I get my inspiration? A lot of it comes from within.
Okay.
I'm a person that works from within without. I do not necessarily follow trends.
Nice. Nice.
Which is good sometimes, or which is not good sometimes. You know, if I sort of need to know what is happening with the trends, I look to my daughter. You know, okay, so what's happening now? You know, but I sort of work from within. A flow, a feel, you know, and so I have this thing where I work from within.
Okay.
And so a lot of people have described my pieces as being fashion forward.
Fashion forward.
Yeah, you know, setting the tone type of thing. So I don't necessarily follow a particular person. I really believe a designer, a true designer, sets the tone. They don't necessarily have to follow. They should set the tone.
Absolutely.
You should feel the color, feel the lines, and think, this is where we should go next. So this is how I sort of flow.
So let's take a look
yes.
at these pieces we have, and we've got some beautiful models here as
Yes.
well. This is one of them, and we've got a second one that's going to come out also. I love this. So why don't you go ahead and you'll step to Sharon's left. I'm already like doing nice little, oh yes. I'm in love with the turn. Wow. So why don't you go ahead and explain this first piece? Why don't you come here so we can see your piece a little better?
Okay, so this first piece here, we have Miss Brenner, and she's wearing a basic sheath dress with asymmetrical cape. I wanted to do something for the woman, the everyday woman, that was simple yet unique. Because a lot of times I'm challenged as to Sharon, can you do something simple?
Right.
So this is my interpretation of simple.
Right.
Even though it's simple, it's wearable, it's relevant, but there should still be some uniqueness to it. I like to play with lines. I like to play with the geometric shapes. So you see that happening in the front, and I've been playing with the shape at the front, this peephole shape, for years. It's very, very common now. But I've been doing that for a while. So here I have that peephole front happening, in peephole triangle happening at the front, at the back, a little bit of accessories just to give it a little pizzazz. Here is the cape. We did this at New York Fashion Week.
I love this.
Yes.
I love it. Put your arms up.
Yes,
Oh,
with a lot of movement.
this is so me, guys. This is so me.
Yes, and it's done in linen, so it's very breathable, natural fiber. And it's a two-piece, so you're not held hostage to the cape. You can wear it with or without the cape. If it's really dressed up occasion, or if you just want to wear the dress by itself. The dress has a whole life. Can you turn around? A whole life by itself. You can get just dressed up and just, the dress alone.
I love it.
So it's just a matter of giving the woman option. She can wear it.
And is this the pattern that's on the piece and on the hat? Is that representative of African pattern? Is that just a pattern that you liked? Because I see you also put some detail on the pattern.
Yes,
piece.
that's just a balance. I believe in balance.
Okay.
Yeah, I like balance. So actually, I wasn't even thinking of African. I saw this piece of fabric. I loved it. I loved the print. I love, so I just went with it.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to have you step over here, and then we're going to look at this piece. Oh, okay. I need you to turn around for a second. And the braid that goes down, the tie, the corseted piece.
Yes, it is a corseted piece.
I love how elegant this looks. This absolutely reminds me of something that they would wear not just to a ball, but it looks very vintage. It looks very like
19th century.
Yes.
Yes. Early 19th century. Yes. Yes, and indeed, these are things you see growing up, and it's sort of it sticks with you. It is very 19th century. I cannot say that I was thinking of the 19th century. I actually drew this dress. The sketch was, oh my God. Sketch might have been 15 to 20 years old, because I'm always sketching. And I finally decided to bring it to life last year, but it is a bust, it is a corseted piece, and it's all boned and lined and brack up and underlined and netted and all that good stuff, the ruched skirt. And
is all of this done by hand?
Yes, it's made from scratch, yes.
Wow.
First it starts off as a concept in the brain, and it goes to the sketch, then it goes to choosing fabrics, it goes to breaking down the pattern pieces, then, choosing the fabrics, choosing the right color, then, making and fitting, and boom, the final result. The neck piece was actually created for the, specifically also for the dress.
Oh, wow.
And actually, now that people are getting wedding, no one just wears just white anymore.
Absolutely.
So this was my interpretation of a modern day wedding dress.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm going to have you stand right next to her. Now, the color scheme that you're going to be using for the Vogue Fashion Runway show, are we going to be looking at the nudes, the earth tones kind of colors? Are we going to be seeing a full line of this color?
It's going to be a full line, and
Okay.
they're going to be earth. It's a surprise, but it's going to be earthy.
Okay.
Yes. It's going to be very earthy. Yes.
I'm very, very excited.
Yes.
Now, tell everybody about the website
Yes.
and how they can find more of your pieces.
Yes. Well, my website is www.shacocouture.com. It's very easy to find. You can like me on Facebook at Shaco Couture or at Sharon Cox School. I do have 2 pages, but my exclusive page, Shaco Couture, you can also find us in IG at Shaco Couture. We are also on Twitter. We are on LinkedIn. What else? So if you're interested in any of these beautiful pieces, you can order it via our website, and we would make exclusive piece for you.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you for
Yes.
coming on, and I can't wait to see you on the runway.
Okay.
Everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in to BossLady News. I enjoyed the show, much like any other show. And you guys know that you can always find me on any of my social medias. You can also find me on BossLadyNews.com. And I did want to give a shout out to the makeup artist.
Yes. Mr. Angel.
Angel.
Yes. Angel inspired Grace Marie Beauty, and this is one of the very gifted makeup artists that works alongside Grace Marie Beauty, and they work exclusive. They're the folks that work with us right now at Shaco Couture to provide our makeup for beautiful models.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And I love how the makeup actually really looks like it works for all skin tones too.
Yes, very
Yeah.
important, yes.
You guys, please feel free to contact me if you'd like to meet any of the people that have been on to BossLady News. As well, you know you can contact me, bossLadyNews@gmail.com. I want to thank everybody that came on to the show. We got a chance to hear from Cuban Mike. Yeah, shout out to you, Cuban Mike. Next time, I don't want to hear you speaking from the car, right? We're going to have you on set next time, right? Yeah. I know you hear me out there. You guys, please make sure you find out more about the People's Academy. They are doing amazing things, such as teaching not just young people and not just men, but teaching individuals about copper and how it can really work on a new home or an old home and the importance of it. So the peoplesacademy.org, peoplesacademy.org, you guys can find T. Michaels, and make sure you're looking out for the documentary that's coming up. Also, these amazing pieces that you see on set today, they are going to be on the runway along with other pieces in October for Boston Fashion Week. I will talk to you all later. Until next time.
Highlighting businesses, nonprofits, events, talent. Ladies and gentlemen.
Your piece.